Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri vahlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli. Selamünaleyküm ve rahmetullahi ve berekatuh. Inshallah, we will continue with the tafsir of Surah Fateha, and inshallah we will continue with the eighth phrase, which is غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Not those who have incurred your wrath or got your wrath, nor those who have gone astray. Okay. Anybody wants to give a brief summary of last week? Lots of things discussed. If not, I can try to give. So, I mean, it makes more sense to study these two together. The last week we studied the Surah al-Lazina and Amta alayhim, the path those who you have blessed. Before that, we were studying Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, right? To guide us to the straight path. Let's start from there, maybe a quick summary. We studied our need for guidance, and we were asking for guidance to the straight path, the most comfortable, most straight, easiest path we were asking. Right? We studied that by asking this, first we acknowledge that we need guidance, and then we cannot the straight path ourselves. Right? We need to be shown the straight path. We also studied the value and the meaning of the straight path through different human faculties, right? The faculty of thinking, faculty of desires, etc. And then we opened up what we meant with the straight path, because it's as if telling us, like just saying that, oh God, give me the best option. But what is this best option? What we mean with that? Last week we started studying that. Surat al-Lazina an'amta alayhim, right? The path of those whom you have blessed. So what we mean with the straight path is the path on which when I walk, I receive your blessings. That's what we meant, right? And we said how I know that I'm on the straight path, what I mean with the blessings, right? We talked about different states that a human being can, let's say, relate to, right? The one state was the Nabi, the messengers, as if receiving the blessing or receiving the revelation, the truth, directly from the Creator, right? Being just living the message, right? As if seeing it with your eyes, with your hearing it with your ears, etc. And then we talk about the Sadiqeen, right? Those who confirm the truth, and then washuhada, those who witness the truth. And then authors, open it up a bit. Just let me share what I understood from there. The straight path is the one that you can confirm with your experiences, right? Because he was talking about that these people, just as an example, like when he talks about some people, he's just giving some examples, right? Who's those people? Is it Ahmed, Mehmed, right? The Zahra or someone else, doesn't matter. It's the state of human beings. The straight path is the one that you can witness the truth, right? The shuhada, witnessing the truth. It's not like, I don't know what it is, but, I feel like it's the truth. No, you witness, you know that it is truth, right? The sadiqin, the same way. The straight path is the one that you can confirm, that you can understand. Author even were saying that it's not just personal. You can even share it with others. He was saying that these people, Sadiqin Shuhada, they understood and then share it with others. He's giving some, almost like a principles, right? What is the straight path? The straight path is the one that you can witness, that you can confirm, that you can live just like other people before you lived, right? It's not just something theoretical. It can be lived. It's not something mystical. Like, I don't know how to explain to you. You have to, live it yourself. No, you can share it with others, author were saying. They share it with others. This is just the opposite of what we usually take the straight path or the truth or religion in general. It's something, personal, it's something belong to me. I don't know how to explain. I just, feel it. He said, you can live it. Yes, the feeling is part of it, but you live it, you know it, you understand it, right? And then you can even share it with others. Just like we try to do with these halakas, right? It's universal. There's a personal share, yes. You benefit yourself. You apply it in your life. You see that your life is changing through it. Right? How Quran explains this? Thinking with heart. Meaning it's not just the mere tafakkur, just thinking, contemplating, but it's also reaching to your heart. It's changing everything about you. Your feelings are changing. Your desires are changing. Right? If you are there witnessing the truth, the straight path, that means you are changing. You are becoming more humble, for instance. You stop telling lies. You stop, I'm just giving practical examples, and you can expand it to anything. You stop maybe gossiping. Why? Because it's changing you. It's reaching you. It's reaching your heart. Not mere thinking. But it's not mystical either. You can share it by showing, demonstrating in your life, right? You live it, and other people see you. They will be affected by you, by your attitudes, the way you live your life. So it will be, what is the word? Like a contagious, contagious, yes. This is the straight path. They have believed in it with absolute certainty, certainty of eyewitnessing, certainty of by knowledge, bringing unshakable conviction to it. I'm just reading some phrases. They through countless proofs, miracles, wonders, evidences, and spiritual discoveries, right? And which the majority of humanity has affirmed. Like you can affirm. His certainty is definite as the sun. So this is the straight path. So we usually take it as, something secret, something mysterious that only certain elect people reach. They live it. You just, look at them and be, enchanted. But that's all. Author says, no, it's not that way. You can touch it. You can touch the straight path, meaning in your life, you would know whether it is working or not. And now we will open it up further, what we want, guidance, right? What guidance for the straight path we were saying. What we mean with that, we will open it up a bit more through negation now. First, we said, guide us to the path where I will receive your blessings. Everything will be clear to me. It will change my life. It will make my life better. And I will be able to share it with others, right? The positive side we studied. Now the negative side, not the path of those go astray or receive your punishment or wrath. That's not what I want. Okay? Is like a big picture clear for everyone? Then we can start reading maybe the next new text. Any questions, comments? Okay, who wants to read it for us? Since you are smiling, it's like an invitation for the 8th phrase. Inshallah, they wait for the microphone. Yeah.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Not those who have incurred your wrath, nor those who have gone astray. Here is a brief allusion to the proof contained in this phrase. Yes, based on unanimous reports and universal certain events, knowledge, and observations, human history and the sacred scriptures unanimously relate in a clear and definite manner. On thousands of occasions, wondrous aid from the unseen arrived for the prophets, peace be upon them, the people of the straight path, in response to their pleas for help, and exactly what they asked for was given. At the same time, on hundreds of occasions, wrath and heavenly calamities descended upon their enemies, the deniers. This conclusively and unmistakably demonstrates that this universe and the humanity within it have a wise, just, benevolent, generous, mighty, and overwhelming disposer and sustainer. He granted victory and salvation to many prophets such as Noah, Abraham, Moses, Hud, and Salih, peace be upon them, in a truly wondrous manner through vast historical events. Conversely, he sent down terrible heavenly calamities upon many oppressors and deniers, such as the peoples of Thamud, Ad, and Pharaoh, as a punishment even in this world for their rebellion against the prophets. Indeed, since the time of Adam, peace be upon him, 2 mighty currents have come down through humanity, constantly clashing with each other. The first is the current of the people of prophethood, righteousness, and belief. By following the path of moderation and straightness, they have been blessed with bounties and happiness in both worlds. Because they act with moderation in accordance with the true beauty, order, and perfection of the universe, they receive the favors of the universe's owner and attain the happiness of both worlds. They serve as a means to elevate humanity to the higher level of angels and perhaps even higher. Through the truth of belief, they have attained a spiritual paradise in this world and eternal happiness in the hereafter, and they have helped others attain them as well. The second current deviates from the straight path. Through excess and deficiency, it turns the intellect into an instrument of torment and a collector of pains, plunging humanity down to a state lower than the most miserable animal. As a result of their transgressions, they receive the slaps of divine wrath and calamities in this world. Furthermore, because of their misguidance and the involvement of their intellect, they see the universe as a place of sorrow and a universal house of mourning. They view it as a slaughterhouse for living beings tumbling into non-existence, seeing it as extremely ugly and chaotic. Consequently, their spirits and consciences suffer a spiritual hell in this world, and they make themselves deserving of perpetual torment in the hereafter. Thus, the verse at the end of the noble Fatiha, الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Those whom you have blessed, not those who have incurred your wrath, nor those who have gone astray, teaches us about these two mighty currents. This verse is the source, foundation, and master of all the comparisons in the Risale and Nur. Since the treatises of the Nur have interpreted this verse with hundreds of comparisons, we refer its detailed explanation to them and suffice with this brief indication.
Exactly. MashaAllah. Okay, let's start, inshallah. So when we write proposals, like for grants, there are certain sections that we have to fill to convince the reviewers that how we will recruit, let's say, the participants from diverse backgrounds. For instance, if the women are minority, we say we will do this and that to get more women or more child, more this and that, right? So I feel like we should have a program to make male attendees contributing more. Otherwise, the city will come and, or maybe federal agencies will come and close us. Saying that you're not supporting diversity. So our male participants, please. Okay. But we are just against of the new Trump era then. So more participation from our minority, inshallah. Okay? It doesn't mean ladies should contribute less. Please continue as you've been doing successfully. Very good, mashallah. For our minorities, minoritized people, please. We need a spokesperson. Oh, okay. Okay, that being said, with this nice, the appeal, who wants to, share their first impressions with the text? Ahmed being, the pride of the male side. Anyone? Let's go with the Nathania.
I have a quick question, I guess. So why do we think that Nursi brings up the situation or this fact that blessings were given to people from the straight path, and bad things were sent, calamities were sent on the oppressors and deniers, when that's not what I experience now in the world.
Fantastic.
I feel unworthy of a lot of the good things that I get in my life, or more extremely, we see good things happening to very, very bad people, or bad things happening to good people. So it doesn't seem like it just doesn't align with what I see now. So what's the wisdom in bringing that forth if that's just not how things are anymore?
MashaAllah. Very good point. Anyone else? Any other initial comments, questions?
To follow up also to Natalia's question, as Imam Nursi is mentioning prophetic stories as like goodness happening to the followers of prophets, and then wrath happening to the opposers of prophetic message. Also in those stories, a minority follows prophets and majority is opposing the prophets. So what shall we take out of that also? Like, will it always be that a bunch of people will be living in goodness and then a majority is going to be under the wrath? Because I guess this is following up with Natalia's question, who is minority, who is majority? Like, what does these stories tell us about that?
Even maybe add more on top of that. In Quran, the word for opposing people in most of the prophetic stories is the malla, which is like the elites of the society, right? Even in Quran, it says when a prophet comes with a message, and the prophets are usually, maybe with a few exceptions, like Salih alayhi salam or Dawood maybe. But anyway, a single person with no status comes, deliver the message, and what he has on the other side is the high status people. You know, the best of the scientists, best of the artists, the most famous people, the best singers, movie stars. This is Mella, right? They would oppose. The cream of the society wouldn't accept the message. So then why, as Natalia summarized, Imam Nursi, as if he's not aware of such practicalities, why he's suggesting that the followers of the prophetic path receive bounties, blessings in this world and the hereafter. It's very important, right? Because like he's not tricking in certain religions, certain understandings in all religions sometimes. It's that, yeah, you're living a miserable life, but don't worry, in the hereafter, you will be better. He's not doing it. He's saying that in this world and the hereafter, they're receiving the blessings. And on the other side, the unbelievers receiving the wrath and living in hell, even in this world. How should we understand this seemingly contradiction with, you know, what is written here, what we see out there?
Just expand the wording in here, and also looking into how Quran establishes those prophetic stories. There's always a conflict, and also as mentioned in here, he says, for those followers of the prophets are given help that they ask for. Like he didn't talk about prosperity or national welfare being better in the believers versus in disbelievers. It was not our general perception of success. He's talking about there's a conflict between the two, and believer is being oppressed and asking for help, and the disbeliever is being the oppressor. So in this conflict, they are given victory. But at the end of victory, let's imagine a case where the world is wiped out, as in the case of, let's say, Nuh alayhi salam. World is wiped out, and a group of people are on a ship, and then the ship lands on somewhere. They're victorious, but their house is also like we're under the water. Like everybody else died. Yes, they are victorious in the sense that they have their life, but nothing else. But still, they're victorious. So in this regard, our expected answer might be more so that why do I not have a swimming pool before my house type of a thingy, but it's not exactly that apparently.
Abdurrahman, nothing, right?
No.
So that example. Anyone? Gentlemen? Same. I think nothing. Come on, man. I'm helping. At least could someone, put a check mark? You can ask 7 times before handing the microphone to lady. Okay, please go ahead.
To add to this thing that why are the believers like more suffering this world, and why are the disbelievers more happy? I think I always used to think about this why is this world a prison for believers, and why is it a place of success for the non-believers? And then as I read Quran, when Allah said that there's this verse in Surah Tawbah which roughly says that Mattaul Hayatud Dunya, you're exchanging the benefits of this world for the akhirah, although the benefits of this world are qaleel, they're less. So I think in those verses, Allah is really commanding for jihad and leave your comfort of your houses and go for and fight in the way of Allah. But when I think of that verse, I'm yes, for us, jihad may seem in different ways. And then when we also think about that as believers, when we ask Allah for ni'mah, when we ask for Allah for bounties, we also have to ask for the bounties that are going to benefit us in the hereafter. Bless us with hidayah, give us knowledge of deen, give us understanding of Quran. We have to ask things like that, not the materialistic things that, oh, I need that kind of a car, or I need this kind of a house, or I need this kind of a career, because all of those things are very materialistic. And Allah says, if you are desiring this world, He will make you tired in the desires of this world, and you'll get one thing, and then while you have that thing, you won't be content, and you'll ask for more and more, and you'll never find that content. But if you ask for the hereafter, Allah will bless you with all of that, of not just this world but also of the hereafter, and you will feel content even if you don't have anything much in this world. So I think when I read more Quran, I kind of understood the more depth of Surah Fateha, because I think we always read smaller verses in a few ayah around the surahs, but then unless we don't read Quran in further detail, we don't understand the deeper meaning of it. What is the actual success for the believers as compared to the disbelievers?
So first, Ahmed. Jazakallah.
So I think I think Dr. Yusuf has discussed this before too, that even when we see all these successful people, I think Imam Nursi summarizes it very well, that they view the dunya as a slaughterhouse for living beings. Slaughterhouse for living beings tumbling into non-existence, which is seeing it as extremely ugly and chaotic. Regardless of how much money you have, whether you're Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, you know that there's an end coming. And being a non-believer, if you don't believe in the hereafter, it is a very, very dark reality. You're moving towards a definite end, and you have nothing that can stop you from it. No matter how much money you have, no matter how much success you think you have, ultimately your viewpoint of this dunya is very, very bleak in that sense. So
The more you have, the bigger of a trouble you have.
the bigger of a trouble you have, exactly. Yeah. And not just and the way he says that it's not just that they're making themselves deserving of a perpetual torment in the hereafter, even their life is living hell at that point. Because if you don't believe that if you don't believe in the hereafter, then even all the joys you feel also turn into pain. You feel the separation more with every joy that you feel here, because you know that there's a definite end to it, and there's nothing that's eternal. So I guess I see that aspect of it. But again, that's still for me, I think it's mostly connected to the hereafter. The relief that I feel now is still that, like, you know, like, I believe in the hereafter. I believe there's an eternity. I believe there's a, you know, the most beautiful one from where everything. But again, I feel like it still leaves that question unanswered a little bit.
Like this part is not clear yet, right?
Yeah.
And Natalia, please.
I guess I also wanted to clarify my question from earlier. Like we have studied in the past, I guess, to put it into a sentence, the ease that comes, like the peace of heaven that we have by being believers versus the peace of hell that we experience by being disbelievers. But why exactly do they mention, or why does Imam Nursi mention the physical like replies from our creator in the time of the prophets? Like it felt like the prophet and their companions were given physical victories, and like the disbelievers were given physical punishments. So we, like, again, we don't always see that because we get physical good and bad in general. So like, again, what's the wisdom in bringing this to the picture if it's not what we're seeing at this time? Like we're not seeing these physical calamities and stuff anymore. Like I don't think that's what he's referring to.
Okay, so you taking this paragraph as the calamities is explained in Quran, like a flood coming and sweeping them out, etc. Okay, so what is the? Oh, then maybe, if you don't mind, and if you disagree, just tell me. Maybe we should reframe your question as, what is the point of mentioning such calamities if I don't see them anymore? Okay.
And to add one more point to that, in here he says historical events. And those historical events, for most, if not all of them, we don't have an historical account independent of scripture itself. So like verification of these as historical events is another challenge. I was checking, since history of Egypt is one of the most that the archaeologists worked on. So the other day I was Googling what are the findings from archaeology point of view regarding Moses. It says there is no historical trace of it. I mean, there are arguments, counter arguments, this and that, but Quran introduces this to us, not the history, but Quran introduces it as a historical event. So in this regard, how can I benefit from that? But the way now Imam Nursi puts it actually gives us a perspective, because in the second paragraph, after this historical, like first paragraph, the introduction, because Quran uses this language. Quran says, talks about people of Noah, people of Moses, people of Salih, and whatnot. Then he says, look around and you will see those people around you as well. Like he says, this one is introducing a general theme in existence where truth and falsehood will fight, and truth will always be presented behind the prophetic tradition. Falsehood is going to be at the opposite of it. Now turn back and look in your society, in yourself, and see what is going on with that. So this is how I think he's reinterpreting our potential take from this historical narrative. So in this sense, we can then ask the question that Natalie is asking, is Jeff Bezos or whomever unhappy, or like, are they under the wrath, or they are, I don't know, deviated? Like, what is deviation? What is wrath in this case?
Poor Jeff Bezos, maybe he's a very devoted believer. Who knows? Yeah, he has to be bad, right? So, was there anyone else who raised their hands? from this side? Sian, would you like it? You want or not? You want or not? Okay, you okay. Okay. You can hold it.
Okay. Just like this, right? So the way I interpret it is like the non-believers kind of have this ultimate chase of just happiness throughout their entire life, and the more they chase happiness, they will fall down even more into a state of sadness or anger, and they'll just kind of have this oscillation between happiness and sadness, just back and forth. But I think what they're missing, what us Muslims have, what believers have, is that we have this state of contentment within Islam, like gratitude, that allows us to have those highs and those lows, but to balance it out, balance between them without getting too extreme on each end. So kind of that state of contentment allows us to kind of balance out things. That's kind of what I interpreted.
I think wait a second, please. There's a
I think if we try to make a claim that's as bold as saying the believers have this comfort and we all have this tranquility, and then that's like just a switch, and anybody who's not in this group, they're suffering, I don't think we're gonna be satisfied by that, because that also doesn't match our reality. It might be more fair to say, to think about what is really distinguishing the believer from the disbeliever. And in reality, for many of us, we have the same mentality, we have the same lifestyle, the same habits, and so we're suffering from the same problems. So we can't see any, material or spiritual difference, but there's no difference in any other aspect of our life except we have the title of believer. So, I mean, I don't want to say anybody who's claiming to be a believer is not a true believer, but what is a true believer that has this kind of tranquility and contentment? Like, who's the person? Like, how do you describe that person who actually has attained those that level of peace? Like, what kind of life is that person living? What understanding do they have, and what mindset do they have?
been waiting for
Just for you.
I was just going to say, I guess those who have two cars, are they like, since they have more, like, is it on the side of believers or disbelievers? Just as a question.
anyone who has two parts can answer. No, I have two microphones. It's obvious who has the cars.
I don't have any cars and I don't have an answer, but I do have a question. Or something I don't understand. Like, let's say the believers, we don't suffer in this life the same way a non-believer does, because we don't experience death as harshly as they do, because we believe in an afterlife. But we don't necessarily know that afterlife will be nice. Like, we could have a terrible, a very bad eternal experience, and I think that might be worse than non-existence. I don't know. Why should I, or like, as a believer, then how can I be calm or at peace? I feel like it might be appropriate to be anxious.
MashaAllah. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Alhamdulillah. You see, that's the reason I'm pushing this gentleman. All these gems hiding. Minority is required. Exactly. Yeah. Minority is always good to listen. Anyone else? let's discuss this aspect of the text, inshallah. So I have one question. Maybe we can open from there. When we say, or when text says believers, what is it that pops up in your mind? Beard people, people with beard. I just shaved mine a bit. So belief can. But seriously, let's start with Natalia, if you don't mind. Let's make it a bit interactive since you asked the question. The question was, and this is like I'm trying to open it up, open up the discussion. So be relaxed.
Yeah, my answer is I have no answer, right? Like,
But
I would want to say that anyone that has a mustard seed amount of belief, but can you like only when you're a true believer does like Islam come to you easily. So I don't know, I feel like I can't judge who's a believer or not.
So the question is, when we look at outside, we see the opposite, right? So from a practical point of view, that means when you look at the believers, you see that they're living not a great life, right? So when you imagine that, who are these believers? Like a people living in, let's say, Gaza or in Pakistan or whatever, West Philadelphia maybe, like who you were referring to?
People who put their trust in Allah, people who don't worry, I guess, kind of like what William was trying to explain, like people that feel some sort of at peace, but then what Sial said was really like, like who can be at peace, knowing that like we're all sinners and it's so much easier to not be on the straight path. So
I don't really have a sophisticated answer, but just by like my gut reaction to that would probably be the people who do like submit their will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I give that answer because I feel like a bad life, I think maybe it might be more in the realm of like perspective, because if you're not a believer or a believer, you don't submit your will to Allah, when you go through hardship, you think about like, oh, like your whole world is ending and it's like everything's going wrong. You might feel suicidal, right? It affects you differently versus like someone who submits their will to Allah. They might look at it from a different perspective where like, okay, this is a trial, this is a test. And like it probably won't affect them to the same like degree mentally. And then maybe that's where the peace comes from.
Okay.
I think in the general theme of things, like when the question was raised, the first thing that came to my mind was the people in Gaza. Like, oh, these are believers. Like we think these are Muslim people. These are our brothers. On the other hand, the oppressors are from like Israel, and like I feel like that's the first example that comes to mind. Like I don't have a specific definition, but like comparing reality, like that's the first thing that comes into my head.
That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah. Right, the people in Gaza, Lebanon, Iran, some part of it. Yeah. So these are the people who are living not so great life. On the other hand, the ones who attack, living in a perfect life, it looks like, right? So let's go back to the roots then, maybe. How we read Quran, how we understand Quran, to whom Quran is speaking to, about whom he's speaking. So when Quran talks about, let's say, the unbelievers or believers, like a Quran is talking to, or the creator in Quran talking to Believers. You, right? Whether it is talking about believers or unbelievers, it's about you. It's about your time. So unbelievers is not necessarily certain people like Jeff Bezos. Yes, in our life there are the physical examples as well. But when I first read it, the first addressee is me. So when we talk about unbelief, like when we study such text and when we start talking about other people, I always feel like, mashallah, these people are so pious that in their life, like no part of their life, they acted like unbelievers. They don't have any, the period of their life that they can make comparisons. Like when I was like this versus when I was like that. So when Quran is talking about unbelievers, it's talking about certain attitudes that we follow. Believers, again, the certain attitude, certain understanding of the world that we have. Just like, Brother Yusuf was saying, Imam Nursi is starting from his so-called, seemingly historical narrations. And then after that, talking about the human history and our life, as if trying to tell us that yes, you will hear such historical narrations, but don't take them as historical narrations. Just like exemplified in these stories, your life is such. If you want to study the historical aspect of it, this is your maybe profession, yeah, go study it. Of course, you will benefit from it. I mean, go beyond searching for, I don't know, looking in the Wikipedia or AI, asking for the Moses. Go beyond that if this is your profession. And when I say with profession, I mean what you enjoy, what you want to do, right? If this is your skill set, go and study the history of Moses. I'm sure you will find some evidences there. But for majority of us who are not interested in archaeology, this story is the story of us. So maybe we should start from there, as our beloved brother Zaria was pointing to, right? We should start from ourselves. So then we should ask the question, what do we mean when I believe versus when I disbelieve? What does it represent? Like when I say I believe, and the belief, we mentioned this before, right? By itself, belief doesn't mean much. You need an object, like believe in this, believe in that. When we believe, and since this text about the Tawheed, and at the beginning it says, the Surah Fateha, we will talk about the evidence of Tawheed in Surah Fateha. Let's start from there. When we believe in the oneness of the Creator, or everything in this creation is created by the one who can create everything. Anything in this creation has to be created by the one who creates everything. And in a nutshell, this is Tawheed. When we believe in this, what happens? What kind of worldview we're talking about? How do we see the life, our lives? Anything in our life has to be created, must be created by the one who creates everything. What kind of life we're talking about? We have $5,000 or $5. $5 is created by the one who creates all the riches in the universe. $5,000 is created by the one who creates all the riches of the universe. What happens? Please.
I have a question because there was some talk about like contentment. There was some talk about contentment, what you were saying earlier, like a good believer, like if I understood it correctly, you should be asking for not materialistic things, just the hereafter, right? But I feel like it might also help your hereafter if your like life here on earth is easier sometimes. Like maybe you're really struggling and it makes you like if you weren't struggling as much, maybe you could worship more or do more good deeds. And I feel like it's okay to like you can be content, but also want things to be easier sometimes, right? So I would like some
Yeah, I know,
clarification
yeah,
on that.
exactly. And we mentioned this before, like, unless you see beauty in the creation, there is no way you can believe that the one who creates it beautiful. Everything you look around is ugly, terrible, disgusting, and you tell yourself that I believe in the all beautiful one. There's no way. So, but if you don't mind, let's go back to the question. What it brings when you believe in tawheed? Like whatever happens in my life has to be created by the one who controls everything, who knows everything, who has power over everything. What kind of life this brings?
We were talking about being content. I feel like being content is like a state of mind. You can have a lot of what you want and you still wouldn't be content. You would always want more for it. I remember my freshman year last year, I would do like everything to control my grades and every other aspect of my life. I would keep working towards it, and even if I failed, I would be depressed about it. I wouldn't eat like for a few days, and I would be in a depressive state. Well, nothing from that changed to my sophomore year, like not my state or anything. The only thing that's changed is how I think about it. If I fail something, I just think about it like it was from Allah. He's the best of planners. Like, what can I do about it? If he wants something better for me, who am I to deny it? And the feeling of sadness and being not content would last for like a while, a few hours at most, and would go away, and I would just keep going on with my life, and I would try for the new things. Last year, so Drexel has these co-ops. Last year, when I did not get a co-op, I was really depressed about it. And I was like, in my last round, I would be like, yeah, just give me something. Give me like a non-paid co-op or something, a research program. I would be happy with it. And I did not get any co-ops last year. And in my when the next term for co-op started, I got a co-op in my like first round, and it was the co-op I wished for the longest period of time, like from my freshman year. And I was like, he planned the best for me, and I keep asking for something like less. So now whenever I pray, I don't feel like asking for something, because I feel whatever I ask for cannot be better than what Allah wills for me. Like, what if I ask for something inferior and he gives it to me? I'm always sad about it. So I just ask for forgiveness as much as I can, and anything else I just leave it to Allah. That's the state of contentment for me. I can wish for more things. I can wish for more money, but would that make me happy? Would it be something I would want, like on the price of my happiness? I just feel about it that way.
Jazakallah khairan. MashaAllah. Okay, let's try to reach this state together, inshallah. Going back to the question, right? So what we really mean when we say we have belief, how it is reflected in our life, what does it change? So whatever happens, we see that how it is connected to the rest of the universe, rest of the life, how everything is intermingled. And we see that anything to exist, it requires everything. Right? This child wouldn't exist if any part of the universe were missing. That how much everything is connected to each other. So whoever created this child must be the one who creates everything else. Right? We realize that. To the extent we realize that, to the extent we acknowledge that, we can say that we have belief in this. So when you have belief in that, this is what happens. When the child makes something naughty, you know that it is part of this all-knowing, all-powerful, the plan. So whoever created this child in this way must be the one who creates my feelings as well. You see it that way. So nothing is out of order. There's no conflict between things. Because it's created by the single hand, you see nothing but harmony. This is the belief, this is the state of belief. I'm not talking about a believer, whether Natalia in this state or not, whether Yusuf is in this state or not. We're talking about the state itself. This is what belief means. Okay? As much as you attain this, you feel peace in your life. What is the opposite? Everything happens by itself, right? Everything has its own share, its own power, its own skill set, whatever. And everything is constantly clashing. At the atomic level, everything is clashing. At the macroscopic level, everything is clashing. And everything between, everything is clashing. The people, for instance, they try to attain their best by minimizing other people's outcomes and maximizing themselves. That's the alternative. The alternative is evolution. I'm not talking about science or anything. I'm talking about the mindset that there is no purpose. Everything is just a random accident. And we're living the accumulated consequences of these accidents. That's the idea of unbelief. Things happen by themselves. There's no reason to something to happen. It just happened that way. When your child does something bad, it's her fault. And because it's hurting you, you have to punish. You have to put the line. Otherwise, why? What? She will learn how to manipulate you. This is the mindset. She will learn how to manipulate you, gain her, and so maximize her gains. So you have to protect yourself, even from your own child. This is the mindset. As much as you attain such a state, you are called unbeliever. Unbeliever, what does it mean? The one who believes that everything happens by itself. The one who believes there's no purpose, there's no order. Clashes of forces. Survival of fittest. That's the ideology. Right? It's not about people, whether A, B, C, whether Israel or Iran or America is believer or not. Whoever has such a mindset is described as unbeliever in Quran. So when you take it that way, things becomes clearer, right? If you believe everything is happened by itself with no purpose, with no order, etc., what kind of life you live? You have to protect yourself all the time from viruses, microbes, your opponents, your colleagues. You have to be careful. Be friendly, but don't let them scoop your ideas. Right? Economy trends. When you try to buy a flight ticket, you compete with the others who will share your row. Right? You will pay $1,000, maybe they will pay $800. So you should optimize your timing so that you pay $800 and they pay $1,000. That's the life. So you don't have to imagine other people. Just look at your life, right? And remember moments in which the life is nothing but a power game. And you are one struggling, being under the weight, crushed. You are crushed under the weight of these clashing powers. Imagine, remember these moments. Applying for the graduate schools, competing with all these imaginary other applicants. So this is the life of an unbeliever, author says. And what they have, what we have in such moments, hellfire, burning us. And we say that the life is miserable. We get angry. We say, I'm so bad, like I'm so, disturbed in this moment. Please don't say anything to me. I tell to my, daughters. And these angels, as prophet describes, the birds of heaven, right? They coming and ready to sing for you the songs of the heaven. And what you say, I'm not in the mood. Just stay away. This is the life. Remember the moments of your unbelief and remember your relationship with your mom in such moments. The looks you give her, the tone of your voice, and the vice versa. So if you are following the path of shirk, what does it mean? There are all these different powers in play. Shirk means partner, right? Partnership. Everything in this creation has a partnership. It's my genes gave me, lack of, let's say, the intellect. I'm looking at other people who are very, the clever. And what I do, I blame my parents. Why? Because genes have a share, parents has a share. The path of shirk leads me to what? Always a clash, distress. Doesn't matter. I have 1,000, 10,000, $1 million, doesn't matter. You have $1 million, you have to compete with the now more powerful people who also have $1 million. With $5, you only compete with people who have $5. Not that clever, right? As you have more, you are in constant clash, your opponent getting bigger. So it doesn't matter whether you have 1 car, 2 car, 3 cars. All you have is the necessity to maintenance. You drive your car, only thing you think that, oh, whether I pass the oil change period or not. You cannot even enjoy the route, the trip.
I just got, I don't know, I think I might be nitpicking, but how do you buy plane tickets as a believer then? Because I want to save $200. Like it is a competition. Like try to buy them early. Like I don't see that as wrong. Like is it truly? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like, eating biryani, right? Come on, become life is competition, be realistic. That's what I mean, right? It doesn't matter how we call ourselves, the mindset. Like you can save money for saving. Because you look at the creation and you see that everything is saved, nothing is wasted. So money, part of the creation, part of the order. And you say, I have to be careful with my money. I need to save my money as much as you can. That's your responsibility. When you lose your money, you don't get stressed because you did your best. But if the reason you are saving your money is not to save your money, but because you think you need money, without money you will not survive, shirk comes into play, and then hellfire ignites. So going on the other side, like the other hand, we talk about the being content, etc. I don't need anything. You can say that I don't need anything, again, to protect yourself, because everything is your enemy, right? The less I have, I mean, better space, etc. But still, you still have your enemies. So whether you have less or not, whether you live like a monk or not, it's not the solution. The solution is whatever you have, $5 or $5 million. Where is it coming from? Why it is given to you? Or was it given to you, or did you earn it? That's the distinction. Because if you earn it, you have to work really hard to protect it as well. But it was given to you, you can enjoy it. You can enjoy $5, you can enjoy $5 million. But if you cannot enjoy even $50 million, then you have to check yourself. What is going on? That's the reason, like when we look at the Quran, we see all varieties of examples. Through the stories of the prophets, for instance. Some of them are so poor, some of them are kings. Some of them are slaves, some of them are the masters. Happy marriage, not so happy marriage, great children, no children, terrible children, all, entire spectrum. What is common? It doesn't matter. Whether you have 5 children, no children, best children, terrible children. What matters is how you see the life, what message you get out of it. None of the prophets complaining, I would be a better prophet if I had, the better children. No, okay, this is the message I will carry, they say. Right? For some prophets, it's the message of the good children they carry. For others, it's the message of the bad children they carry. And they are both content with that. So we shouldn't take the contentment as well, it's a big danger. When we talk about the contentment, we shouldn't take it as, well, less is enough. I don't care about the money. Or I don't care about the stuff. Yeah, from one aspect, it's true. Yes. But point is not striving for less. The point is seeing the message in whatever you have. If you are a child of a rich family, you're a child of a rich family. No reason to try to hide it or anything. Just use it in the best way. If you are poor, you are poor. Use it in the best way. Any other comments, questions? Oh.
I think this came up in one of the Tuesday's discussions as well, that in a secular world, we think of our life more around careers, like, okay, I need this and I want to be like at this position and I want this in life. And we're always struggling for that. And that is like, we divide our life into like religion and everything else. There's a division. There's not like one life. We're living like 2 lives separately. And I always find a challenge in like reminding myself that there's one life and that my religion should incorporate all the rest of it. But then I also struggle with like, how should I deal with my ambitions as a person? Like, oh, I need to get into like this residency program, let's say. I want this position and I want that, and I'm working hard for it. And if I don't get it, I'll be really disheartened. And in my struggle, I also find that if I had not had this struggle, I would not be as close to Allah. But if I have the struggle, I also sometimes feel like I'm losing my patience, I'm losing my trust or like my faith, and it kind of like also drags me away from it some days. So I wonder, like, where does in the secular, like, how do I incorporate my religion and my secular part of my daily life together? How do I like marry them together when I can't change my ambition, when I can't change my daily aspirations? Yeah.
So the framing in the text is very interesting in this regard. When it was explaining, like after the intro paragraph where he mentioned that in history there was a clash between the followers of the prophets and their opponents, then he said, since the time of Adam, 2 mighty currents have come down through humanity. But then he says, as the description of the proper path, says, by following the path of moderation and straightness, they have been blessed with bounties and happiness in both worlds, because they act with moderation in accordance with the true beauty, order, and perfection of the universe. Of the universe. They receive the favors of the universe's owner and attain the happiness of both worlds. Like, this attitude is marrying
Iman with this existence. Like Iman is not something that's coming from my imagination, or like spiritual world is not something that when I turn to inside and get totally diverse from outside world, this is the realm of Iman. But the world is taking me away from my creator, because generally, practically, sometimes this is how it happens, right? You get more rich, then you start worried more about how to preserve it, and then you really forget about your creator. Like practically, this is how it boils down to. But author in here is saying that you observe the creation. This is what we were discussing for the past 2 weeks. You observe that in the creation, the maker is making things in the shortest way, most proper way. Like there is this Surat al-Mustaqim in the creation, because the creator is following the shortest proper way in his creation. Be convinced of, or have Iman in such a creator, and act accordingly. You should also be acting as your creator is acting in the creation. So looking at it this way, really the existence becomes my constant reminder of my creator. If I approach existence as such, to the extent that I can approach, let's put it this way, let's not make it black and white. To the extent that I can approach to my wife, to my daughter, to my son in a way that, like, observe what the maker is making on them. What does he speak to me on them? With your success, whatever it is that is happening, look at it as such, because it's a speech that your creator is speaking. This is what we were referring to on Tuesday, right? So creator, or Musa's Rabb, Musa's sustainer, talked to him through fire. Like a mundane event in life, a bush, burning bush, creator talks to him through that bush. It might be that, I don't know, your job application, you get admitted to a certain program. This is the fire burning in there. Your creator talks to you through that event. Listen to it. To the extent that I can see it as a message, this is the conversation. So, like, it's not that certain things are worldly, certain things are not. Everything is heavenly if I see them as the creation of the creator. But if I think that sometimes, forgetting that, actually, this was the question today a student asked at Drexel. It was a very beautiful question. So that student said that, well, but Beni Israelites, from heavens, food were coming to them, like the meat and the halwa, manna wa salwa, was coming down to them. And then they asked for something else. How dare they do this and whatnot? So this was the question. I said, you're a believer, right? Yes. Where does the apple come from? Does apple not come from the heavens? Or does apple come from the tree? As a believer, you think that, if I ask it as such, yeah, creator creates the apple, meaning apple comes from the heavens. But you forgot it, right? By asking the question, actually, you are testifying that even you forgot it. You are putting the blame on the Israelites, but you also forgot that apple was coming from the heavens. Just because it was coming out of the tree, you thought that the tree makes it. So this separation is the problem. So this is why the path of prophethood then is becoming that, as the creator creates everything in the shortest way, why are you trying to explain apple as, or apple comes out of the tree, or tree comes out of the seed, or seed comes out of the like going this chain and chain and chain? Is this really the case? Is really creation happening in this causal chain? Or everything is being created by the creator of everything all at once? What is your conviction? Look at the existence as such. The moment you see it as such and say that, oh, this apple is actually being sent down to me from heavens right now in front of my eyes, then nobody can really blind you from this truth. You will deliciously eat the apple and immediately thank your creator. You will not say that, oh, which type of apple is this? Oh, Macintosh. Macintosh is the best. You won't say that. You will say, oh, this is my sustainer's gift, and my sustainer does the best. So then we will get away with this split,
And very beautifully in the second part, when he comes to the second part, he says the second current deviates from the straight path. So the part that doesn't follow prophetic tradition meaning creator is teaching them, instructing you, I forget about that. Then what do? I deviate from truth. What happens? I start saying that, oh, you know what? God created the Big Bang did this, and eventually we ended up with the seed, and then the seed grow, and then it gives me the fruit. A super long path. It's not straight path anymore. It's a super long path. If at all, eventually it goes to God, right? What happens? I went with excess and deficiency. This is more lean part. I deviated from truth. But as a consequence of this deviation, what happens? I find myself in the wrath, as was being mentioned. Now I'm at the mercy of, is in the spring, or it was too cold, and the flowers burnt, and not much apple. Like my hometown is famous with apricots, and farmers are super worried every spring. Oh, if it's going to be too cold when the flowers bloom, then the apricot prices are going to be just, there's no apricots, so there's no price at all. They cannot harvest any apricot at all. Then you're very worried because your sustainer in this case becomes the climate. So I am feeling the wrath of my deviation immediately on earth. You want to say something?
Yeah, I have a question. I don't understand, or I feel like the farmer in this example who takes the climate as his Rab, you said that he will feel the wrath of the creator in that, but isn't the wrath also a mercy, since it's telling him that there's something that's off? But isn't wrath and mercy opposites too? So I don't really understand that.
Very good question, yeah. Anyone wants to add on that?
There's a very beautiful poem about this one. It says, the ones who thought that blessing and wrath are different experienced a lot of pain. Actually, they are both the same single thing. A little bit too cryptic, but to your point, yes, even within the wrath, there is mercy. Like when we say he is Ar-Rahim, like the creator is most merciful, in his wrath, there is mercy as well. Because wrath in this case is becoming like a wake-up call saying, come back to me. Because it would be ultimate wrath if there wouldn't be any pain for that person, if they wouldn't notice what they are doing wrong. So even within the wrath, the disturbance that is given with the wrath is the invitation to say, come back, which is a mercy.
But only if you see it as a message. So your child, let's give the example with Alina and Adil, because it's a dramatic one. So my heart cannot, handle it with my own child. You're walking on the street, like they're walking on the street. A car is approaching, and Alina, being naughty, not listening her father, just jumping, the left, right, and then the car is about to pass. She jumps on the road, and Adil, because he has to act so quickly, take Alina and throws her to the safe side. So to the extent Alina realizes that he's my father, he's trying to protect me, she sees this as a mercy. Otherwise, she just has the pain of being, the hold strongly, because in such moments, I can tell you that you cannot control your muscles. You will, they squeeze her really bad and then throw her. She just has the pain. She will start crying, blaming her father. What did you do? Why you are acting such, terrible way? You're a bad father. I don't like you, etc. The same action, but only if she takes it as a message, or coming from the one who loves me, she will see it as a blessing or mercy. So when we do something bad, when we live life in this way, everything is clashing, right? Everything has a partnership in the creation. We will have this distress. We will have a terrible life. Yes. And if you attribute this feeling of terribleness, feeling distressed to yourself, there's no point of it. There's no mercy. What you try to do, you try to kill it. You try to take some drugs and then alcohol, some sessions with, the psychiatrist, etc. And you try to kill this feeling. You try to get rid of it. There's no mercy in it for such a person. We can only talk about the mercy if you say that, okay, why I'm feeling this way? I'm not creating this feeling myself. There must be something that puts this feeling in me. Only start questioning this way, it becomes mercy. It becomes a message. Otherwise, you cannot start from top down and say that, oh, Creator is all merciful, so there must be a mercy in this rat as well. So there's, is it a rat or is it a mercy? You have to start from bottom.
So it becomes a mercy once you understand that the terrible feeling that I hate, once you actually see that it's from seeing things as I don't know, clashing, rather than, but like I'm trying to make it make sense in my own experience, because I've been at these discussions, I've heard this before, and I can sometimes catch myself like I don't know, not being a believer, like
That's the whole point, yeah.
yeah, no,
We all
no, but like
catch
very,
ourselves.
very often, unfortunately. Like I will attribute to so many things, and I notice that it sucks, like it really sucks, but I don't know in the moment. I understand then that there's something wrong, so I can see the mercy in, like, this doesn't feel good, but then I feel stuck in the sense that, like, what do I do now? I mean, I see that this must be a creation, or maybe that's top down then, I don't know. Maybe that's because I've been here, I know that everything is created, and but yeah, no, that's kind of where I feel stuck. And then I think of the verses that we studied a long time ago about the Beni Israel killing the prophets, and like how I might be doing the same thing, but I don't know. I don't know.
You just kill the feeling, right? It's a messenger. The feeling
Well, I don't
telling
know.
you that the feeling is created in you, and it's telling you something, that something wrong with your perception, something wrong with your understanding. And what you do, oh no, you are not a messenger, it's just a feeling that, because of my hormones, neural activations, etc. It's just a glitch in the system. You just kill the messenger.
How do we then trying to not go top down? Like, how do we then look at creation and try to, I don't know, look at it through the, I don't know how to say it, a light of belief, or like lens of belief, rather than naturalist, materialist?
I talk too much. Who wants to taste? Would you like to have one?
I guess I find myself in similar situations where sometimes it does feel top down when I look at something that happens. Let's just say, for example, my experiment didn't work. And I could say, yeah, there's a creator who's creating my existence, and there has to be wisdom there. But I don't know, that still feels top down to me. Where I'm saying I'm starting with the creator and saying there has to be something there that makes sense. I'm just not seeing it. So I guess like maybe I'm too focused on the outcome there that I'm blocking like everything else that's happening. So the feeling of discontent that the experiment didn't work, and even just like everything else that's going around me, like the lab is still running and functional. The universe is still in place, but I'm just like this one experiment, and suddenly that's like covering my whole vision. But I guess how do I then it still feels top down to then kind of go back and say, like, there's someone creating the lab, that there's someone creating I can leave and go outside, and there's someone I can say, look at how orderly everything is. Just because this one experiment failed, does that mean there wasn't any wisdom in it? So is that the approach I should be taking? Like, I go outside and I see a flower, like trying to cool down. I go outside, look at this flower, and I say, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. I don't even go outside. I'm still in the lab. I'm still in the. I'm just being realistic. I know that you would not go outside. Sure. That's fair. Yeah, so I guess it still takes a lot of effort, like just as demonstrated, to even like look at my finger and say, wow, the same fingers that are like doing all these other experiments that are working are also like doing like we're the ones who I'm getting stuck in language, sorry. But like the same fingers are still here, they're still working, whether the experiment failed or succeeded, whatever that means. So yeah, I guess it still feels kind of top down to me. Like I still kind of start, like it's almost like a point of comfort to start with God rather than the things that are happening around me.
I think the whole theme of this discussions has always been to read in the name of your Lord. So for me, that's like the most direct path for starting to like open up that sort of conversation in your mind. I think when you have the message, when you receive the message, you have to, like, that's a nudge, then you have to investigate that. And the first place to start is by doing that. Try to read the situation in the name of the most merciful, the most kind, one who's taking care of you in every need that you had. Like, that context needs to be there. But okay, if you don't fully believe, if you haven't fully been sold about that, like try to like understand the situation, starting from like, this is okay, if this is from my creator, I've already accepted. I think for all of us, we've accepted that we have a creator, so we can start from there and then see like why would, I mean, just ask ourselves that question critically, why would he create this for me? And then continue to have that conversation. That conversation actually is with your creator, so just yeah, you have to continue to have that conversation. But if you start with that, trying to read it, essentially that's what my understanding of it is that you're reading that whatever situation that you're in, whatever test, through that lens, and that lens is like, this is your creators giving you this, sending you this.
So I guess we will get disturbed when these type of things happens, as when we look at the stories that Quran mentions, as author was mentioning in here. When a messenger brings a message, how do people respond? They say, "Oh, the merciful doesn't send messengers anyways," or "You're just humans like us." Trying to reduce the thing to something of my level, not as a messenger, but as something like, I mean, I know Muhammad is like a human being like me. What could he say to me about God? Same thing applies to an event in life. It's a car accident. What could be a message in this car accident? Whatever. Or you scored a basket and you feel like it was an impossible shot and you scored it. And I say, like, what sort of a message could be in here? It's just a basket. Like this sort of naturalistic reduction. And I consider myself to be naturally existing. I know what I am, and I know what Muhammad is. I know what a basket is, like a scoring is. What sort of a message would be there? Like the idea of it being a message is a disturbing thing because it's taking me out of my comfort zone. Now I need to find somebody speaking to me. So I need to learn. Like these are the things that definitely makes me uncomfortable because I need to move at this point. That means it came to change me. Who wants to be judged? Who wants to change? So there's definitely a disturbing part of it. But then embracing this change at the same time saying that I am at your hands. Like I think Sam made this comment about belief, submitting. This is the hard part, submitting to the fact that I am needy and you guide me to the right path. This is being the tough part. Like this is the internal switch that needs to happen. Yes, after turning the switch, still I need to follow a certain path. But at least the part that I find hard is turning that switch to submit to the fact that I do not know. And I am in need of being guided. This is generally the hard part to switch. This is where many of the times, as Quran is depicting us as humans, this is where we fail. No, merciful doesn't send a messenger. This is being the first obstacle that we put before messengers to reach us. Maybe something that we can work on.
Um, just so because I might have not been following 100%, but we're talking about like when you get like that, I guess that inspiration to like change, right? That message, like that feeling in your gut when you know you should change. My question pretty much kind of goes around the fact like, how do you know like you're not going in like the wrong direction? Like how you know if that's the right feeling or not? Because we also do get whispers from Shaitan, and Shaitan deals in trickery. Like earlier today in class, Yusuf was talking about that, how like the Shaitan can't like make you do anything, but it can give you whispers and trick you into doing things. So how do you know really like maybe something seems like I guess a good thing at first to do, but like how do you know that's like not going off, like steering off in the wrong direction? Like for example, like bid'ah, like someone might be like, okay, pray these extra prayers, like a face value that seems kind of innocent, but you're adding on to religion that isn't ascribed, I guess, for an example.
Okay, Alhamdulillah, good question. For those who were not able to hear, he's asking if you are talking about inspirations and following this inspiration, how you know that they are taking you the right place? That was the question. And I just realized it will sound like, I'm trying to escape from the question, but we are way out of time. I just realized. Maybe we can discuss this next week. Just a short answer, like even before coming to inspirations, let's just forget about the inspirations or ending. What do you do? Are you a student?
Yeah.
Okay. You work so hard, you take the exam, you fail. What happens?
So bad.
You feel bad. So this feeling of bad, how do you take it? Like, why it is there?
Maybe the way I approached my studying was wrong.
Maybe your studying was wrong. No. I don't try to take a message out of it just because I asked you. So when you feel bad, what do you do? Like, do you start questioning where did this bad feeling came from, or just you said, "Oh, come on, man, I work hard, but I still fail." So feeling bad is just a natural reaction. I mean, everybody works hard, who works hard and then feel bad, right? It's natural, like nothing extraordinary with that. The point was actually there's something extraordinary with that. This feeling bad is created in you. The feeling bad itself is a messenger. So you should question, you should listen why it is there, what it is telling me. So it's not necessarily, the inspiration in the sense that you come up with a new idea, or you just feel bad because you work hard and didn't fail. Don't take it as a natural happening, but take it as something being created in you, something given to you. And then you will start asking why it was given to you. But again, we have to open this up later, maybe. I apologize. Just, to put things out, summarize maybe what we studied so far. We said, if you see life as everything is happening by itself, this clash of power, the forces, right? And you are just being crashed in between. This is the path of unbelief. And you will feel the hell in this life. On the other hand, when you realize, no, everything has to be created, and there must be agent behind that, and whoever creates this must be the one who creates everything else as well, because I see infinite power, infinite knowledge in everything. To the extent you see that, okay, whatever happening to me is created by this all-knowing, all-powerful. This is the path of the belief. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.